Like, what do you think could have prevented? Not what do you think, like, who's at fault here, but like, what do you think could have prevented that? Like, what would you?
Well, I think it comes down to individual responsibility as well as the person that's influencing the crowd. I think everybody has a fault in that. You know, you can't necessarily control the thousands of people that are out there, but they need to control themselves. And if they're not controlling themselves and you're in charge and you're the one that everybody's fucking doing this for, you know, like everybody in that situation has a responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Welcome to episode 33 of the Effin Pure podcast. I'm your host, Marcus, with my co-host today, Courtney and Sebastian.
Man, that sounded just like the intro to the intro that we've always had to our actual podcast.
It is. Well, today, did you have something to say before I go into the introduction of today's topic? And well, obviously, things are a little different today. There's a camera here, there's a camera there, and there's a camera here. We have no guests today. This is kind of the bread and butter of what we've always done. I mean, yeah, we had our podcast with, interviewing us, but that's really not us. That's not really what we do. For those who have listened to just the audio episodes, we just sit down and we just chat it up and talk about shit going on in the world, like issues with with
whatever the fuck.
Whatever. I mean, we've talked about like mental health. We talked about space, all types of shit. Well, today, we have an interesting topic because it's kind of, it's been spreading around the news today and, been with what's going on. It kind of relates to society in general and like how everything's kind of, transforming into in a society that we live in. And because of the accessibility, of our technology, we're able to have more of a voice than we've ever had. Not even only doing this podcast, but, with social media in general. So, with that being said, we wanted to kind of go because we had somewhat of a positive feedback with that when we mentioned cancel culture on the Halloween podcast with Sebastian. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, no, I had over, I posted it on Facebook and there were people like that liked it. And, like,
what did they say?
It. They didn't. Well, I had a couple people message me like that they agreed, like how cancel culture is, shit. But it sucks because like I said, people have a voice. People, always want to say something, but there's always, I think people you should always keep your mouth shut too sometimes, to be honest with you. Especially with like,
no way.
I do agree. I think some people shouldn't always speak up. I mean, in certain matters in the issue. I mean, you don't know the whole story, and
no, yeah. I definitely respect that. I think you should definitely
do your research
before you have an opinion.
Yeah, for sure. And that's why, coming into this, we wanted to bring what most recently happened. The day of recording this happened, last night or 2 nights ago?
A couple nights ago,
the Travis Scott incident. Obviously, if you haven't been living under a rock, you haven't, we've all heard of the incident, what's been going on.
Well, so now that I can ask you, what were the statistics?
What happened?
Yes.
So,
what were the numbers of people that were injured or fatal?
There were 8 people confirmed dead as of now, and they died because they were trampled. People were crazy. Insane. Everybody was trying to rush to the front to see him, to get as close as possible. And
there was reports of people telling him to stop the concert, like climbing up on stage. You can see a cameraman kind of pushing him to the side and saying, "What are you doing?" And they're like, "Stop the show, stop it," and being serious. And there was this one. I shouldn't be making light of this, but there was a video of someone doing CPR on a person, and Travis Scott looks over and he then he starts doing the robot. And it's
just
what
continues.
The fuck? Are you kidding me? It's like some demon. It's like a ritual, a sacrifice.
Look, I would never at any point blame Travis Scott for this.
He's getting a lot of heat for it right now.
He's getting a lot of heat for it, probably because...
We should cancel him.
Well, listen, the reason he's getting it is probably because of the way he reacted to what had happened. He probably could have reacted in a different way, but in that moment, ask yourself, how would you react? Well, it's a weird thing to react to.
It has happened to other concerts before where it started to get...
really bad.
Overwhelming for people.
Well, fucking Woodstock 92.
Typically, they stop. And
I will
another
say
thing...
this. Go ahead.
Another thing...
I will say this. Go ahead, though.
Yeah, go this.
Is-
That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Go, Courtney.
Okay. So he has encouraged this before.
No, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
And
he's known for these kind of concerts.
His concerts are
crazy.
known for being so crazy and overwhelming and stuff. So it's
Right.
like, do we blame him or do we blame the people, or who should be responsible for this?
I don't know if you can point the finger at any
Right.
Single person.
general area. Even not I wouldn't say a single person is the cause of it, but you could point.
I think it's how society is now.
I just think like I blame the people who
Who
was
did
like
it.
stepping on the dude
Yeah.
who was like, "Oh, sorry, my foot just stepped on your face."
They're all young.
Blame
kids.
that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Well, there was a report of one of the ones that actually deceased was like an 8-year-old boy.
10.
Yeah, there
Or
were
10-year-olds.
one
Yeah.
was like 14. They were like
And,
children.
Like imagine taking your son to see a concert
Oh
that he's
my
been begging to
God.
see, and
oh
then
my god,
don't
even
just
say
like
that,
the
dude.
the reaction you would have. It's fucked up.
See, at the same time though, I think the people that, and this sounds really selfish and a little fucked up, but like if you gotta also simultaneously accept the responsibility when you go, that
if you know that that's
that's kind of like the gimmick of a Travis Scott concert, is that it gets
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah, but you should never expect your
No, you
people
would
die.
no,
You know what I
absolutely
mean?
no, absolutely.
But also,
absolutely
like you
not.
said, I do agree
I
with what
definitely
you're
agree.
saying.
No, but I know what point you're coming from too.
You know what you're getting into.
Exactly, but you need to know what you need to know what you're getting yourself into. But at the same time, like no one would ever predict something like that.
No, I mean, honestly, it's a travesty. I think
It really is.
I saw a video of
a travesty.
It's a Travis Scotty.
Oh, Travis Scotty.
Make
That's-
light of it, dude.
I really did
No.
not even do that on purpose.
There was
that was a good pun, Courtney.
Thank you. There were 8 people that died, but they don't even know how many people were actually injured, and
Right.
it seemed very scary. Like if you watch the people like recounting what happened that night,
Yeah.
like they're just like so overwhelmed with
Okay, so
nobody
I will
wanting
say
to
this.
help.
I will say this though, because I do partially blame Travis Scott. And this is why. Because the video I was watching, there was a guy analyzing the situation and understanding what happened and how it happened. And there was a comparison of Logic. We all know Logic, the rapper. He doesn't rap anymore, but
Well, what do you mean?
Let me get to it. So there was now again, this is a grand scheme because Logic concert was like probably 10,000 people, and Travis Scott has 50,000 people. So I get that part of it. But as someone that as a musician, you're able to control the people around that are here to see you. Now, Logic, when in the concert that he was at, people were getting rowdy. He completely stopped the music. He was telling everybody, he was telling them like, make sure everybody was staying hydrated, everybody was having fun. He was checking on all the sections, and he was taking control of the situation. You could like see, and people. What frustrates me is like people have always deemed Logic as corny in the rap game, which I never thought he was corny. I just
like
thought,
him.
I mean, I've always liked Logic, but in that comparable to how Travis reacted, he could have reacted a little bit differently to the situation. Not saying that he is at fault, because it's not his fault why people did what they did. But as the main attraction, you're able to control that in certain extent. You can stop the show. You
That's
can
true.
threaten the crowd like, look, I'm gonna leave if you guys you calm down. You guys need to take control. You know,
that's a good point. In that moment,
So-
you have absolute control of what goes down.
I mean, they're there to
I
see
mean,
you.
like
so.
there are like departments within that show that have responsibility over what consists like of the show and even
Right.
the crowd. But at that moment, when everybody's looking at you and listening to you, you have responsibility, and you have to accept that responsibility. And if you
Right.
know that shit is going down,
Right.
and if you look over to your left, he's had to have done how many shows?
Oh,
Right.
millions.
Countless. He
Hundreds.
has to be aware of the fact that if there's a fucking a CPR group like within the crowd and they haven't moved
Right.
and they're there and shit's getting serious, you gotta say something.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a horrible fucking event that happened, and I did see people going already conspiracy theories about it, where
What?
they had
Mm-hmm.
they had a
Oh, Courtney, tell me.
there's a picture. No, this is something I seen. There's a picture of you know how the Astroworld, like it shows his head with everybody going in his
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah,
and
yeah.
shit. There was a demonic picture of a demon like with their mouth open and a bunch of people going crazy around it. It's like
way.
a sacrificial ritual of
Dude.
people being sacrificed. It's
Oh
fucking
my
insane. I mean, I'm not saying that's
cool.
the case.
No, that's cool though. That's a
But
Well, I think a lot of people they reanimate the demonic shit in their own way because
yeah,
it's like a cool thing to do, I guess.
I don't know. It just seems like well, and I also saw his apology, and I don't know, just to me it didn't seem super genuine.
It didn't seem sincere.
It didn't really seem sincere.
He's saying the words,
Yeah,
but
just because he feels like he has to say something. Yeah. You know what I
mean? No. Come on, man.
Did you see it?
I'm sure he feels bad. Well, do you remember?
It just didn't look. It just didn't seem genuine. Yeah, he was just like, I don't know. It's hard to describe. People that have seen it, you can have your own opinion on it. But
I mean,
again,
I'm sure he like. Okay, so
I'm not faulting him, but
put yourself in his shoes for like just a second.
Yeah, I am. I'm trying.
And just imagine, like, it's like putting your hand over a hot stove. Like, that hurts, that burns. Like, yeah, no shit. That's what you prepared for. And I'm sure you go to a concert, you don't prepare to get trampled over, but fucking protect yourself.
Well, here's my thing about it.
It ain't the artist's fault. The way he handled it was wrong, but he could have handled it better. But it ain't his fault.
No, I never said it was his fault. I'm just saying, society has to blame somebody. That's just how society is built.
That's true.
We always love pointing the finger at people. That's just what we do. I mean, that's kind of how life works. Unfortunately,
you're right.
I don't think that's always great, but as far as someone who has millions of dollars, who has millions of followers, who has the authority to influence these people, he should take that and take it more seriously, in my opinion. I mean, based upon what was kind of his demeanor, to me personally, I don't think it was genuine. But again, I could be wrong. I don't know him personally.
How old is Travis Scott?
I don't know. He's probably like in his late 20s.
He's younger than us, I think.
I don't know how old he is. I mean, you could probably look it up. But
I mean, in my opinion, this is just a dude who's still a child. He's just trying to make money. He hasn't encountered a situation like this, and he handled it in a way that probably shouldn't have.
Right.
But he was just handling it in the way that a child would.
Yeah.
And he was just doing what he knew. He continued the show. He didn't know the severity of the situation. And maybe next time, if there ever is a next time, which I'm sure there will be, he'll handle it differently. Yeah.
Well, I also heard that the security wasn't good there, and there was a lot of people. Yeah. Like, it was just overcrowded, too. There wasn't as many people there should have been. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I don't know. Right. Do you have any more details on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you?
I do.
Give it.
Well, the crowd was screaming help and stop the show. A lot of people were panicking. This was a really overwhelming situation.
Yeah.
And people just weren't, there's people that aren't stopping, and Travis isn't stopping the show, and people aren't helping. And EMT was called, and they're in there trying to perform CPR, and other people in the crowd were trying to pull the people out that needed the help. And they were pulling them into the VIP section, and there were other celebrities in the VIP section. They're like, "Get them the fuck out of here."
Well, can I ask you what your opinion is on this? Because I know that you have the statistics, but I haven't really heard your opinion.
I mean, I don't really have.
What do you think could have prevented? Not what do you think who's at fault here, but what do you think could have prevented that? What would you?
Well, I think it comes down to individual responsibility as well as the person that's influencing the crowd. I think everybody has a fault in that. You can't necessarily control the thousands of people that are out there, but they need to control themselves. And if they're not controlling themselves, and you're in charge, and you're the one that everybody's fucking doing this for, everybody in that situation has a responsibility.
Yeah, for sure.
I think everybody's at fault in their own way.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not. You can't blame.
I agree with that.
Can't blame it on one person. Obviously.
No, I don't think any one person is at fault. I think that I don't know. I also don't understand why people act the way that they do for celebrities. Nobody, in my opinion, is that big of a fucking deal.
They worship these people.
Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Unless you were Gandhi.
Not even that.
I am not. Gandhi, I'd probably start a fire.
Well,
start a fire.
I wouldn't. Gandhi would be like, "Get the fuck out of here."
No, right. You're right though. I think it's just because certain people just experience things like that not very often. When they do, it's otherworldly. It's God, it's they don't know. They don't even probably know in that moment how to react.
I mean, I don't honestly, I don't care if people have mosh pits and enjoy their time. I mean, there's underground concerts that I've heard of where they actually swing and kick and punch.
Well, mosh pits are almost organized though.
Well, I will say this as a fellow mosh pitter, someone who's been to not many but enough mosh pits and shows to have an opinion on it. The very first thing that a majority of the people at this show look for is the safety of the other.
Right.
Everybody has
anybody who's in a mosh pit, anybody gets pushed down, we'll pick them up, make sure he's all right. You good? All right, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody who's in a crowd surfing, anybody's crowd surfing, we'll check on them. You good? The majority of the time, I don't even look at the show. I look back to check and make sure the guy's got someone.
He's up.
He's not falling on his head. And the fact that this happened, and I saw videos on top of videos of people who were like CPR guys who were making sure that people weren't fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and then
man, it's
right
crazy.
behind that, the show was still going on.
Yeah.
People were still fucking dancing.
Yeah. It's
It was like the
insane.
crowd of people were just being so
Dude,
insensitive.
that's like some Twilight Zone shit.
Mm.
It was
Mhm.
ridiculous.
That's
I can't believe it. I can't believe
It's
it.
fucking crazy.
You could see the panic in some of these people, and then the
Absolutely.
complete. This is why I think people are fucking bots. Some people are bots. They
Some
have
people
to
are
be.
bots, dude.
Like, how can you
Robots.
know that people
Probably-
are dying, or that you're fucking stepping on somebody and
You're just in
You just don't
You're
autopilot.
just
care.
like, oh, Travis Scott. Was that your balls? Was that your brain?
Yeah,
oh,
they-
sorry, brother.
offer-
Oh, Travis Scott, love you. Ooh.
Well, the thing is all to get closer to
to him.
yeah, all to get
Yeah.
closer to somebody that he doesn't give a fuck about.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know you. You know what I mean?
Well, that
Yeah.
definitely answers that would you rather question. Stomp on a bucket of puppies, or
oh
Yeah.
yeah,
But they all answered that question.
they're all gonna
yeah,
say
they'd
yes.
absolutely be rich.
Dude,
I can understand it being like overwhelming where everybody's like pushing one way,
well,
you
yeah,
know.
Yeah. The other thing is, it may not even have been your choice. You
Right.
may have
You
just
get,
been-
like,
you may have
dragged
just
along.
gravitated.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you had no choice but to hover above these people. You have to. I mean,
Well,
I don't know.
fix your-
I would definitely make a fucking scene about it though. Like I'd be
Dude,
like,
it's-
y'all
it's
need to
hard.
fucking quit. You
It's
know.
hard though.
Yeah, but it's hard
bro.
because like if you think
Because,
about it,
well,
just
it happened.
one
It happened so
person.
fast too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like everything happens at once. It's
I don't
like,
know. I just it wouldn't.
It's hard.
You
If,
could
It's a
try.
tragedy, though.
I mean,
If
there were
I-
people climbing on stage to try to stop
if I like stepped on somebody or saw that somebody had fallen or something, like I just don't see myself being able to just click back into the show. You know, like
The
that would
thing
be on
that-
my mind the whole time.
Yeah, I agree with you. The thing that bugs me is the quantity of people that are deceased now, and
Yeah.
the quantity of people
Yeah.
that were,
Affected.
you know,
Yeah.
injured or just whatever. Even the people that saw those people get affected. It's like, Jesus Christ, you guys, come on, man. Like how? Because like I know, like Travis Scott, the gimmick of his shows is to go hard, go in, like
Right.
party, like let's go.
Right.
But like, come on, bro. Come on, man. You all just really trampled 8 people
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
for a fucking Travis Scott concert.
It
Come the
don't make
fuck
no
on.
sense, and it kind of leads into the whole point of this podcast, this
Yeah.
episode is us as a society. Like I don't know what's going to happen with this whole incident, with how everyone's going to look at Travis Scott or how he's is portrayed, whatever the case may be. I mean, but when shit like this happens, everybody's like an uproar because I'm seeing so many like people comment about it, the way he reacted, the way people reacted, the way there was a lack of security, the lack of control, and how that can just redirect. And because the thing is we don't know what really happened. We're not there. We don't know what truly happened. We just go based off the reports and what this person said and what that person said. You know how stories get transformed over periods of people's stories. We truly don't know. Like really, we only know what they tell us at the end of the day.
Well, that's everybody. You'd think, unless you were fucking there. That's we just,
Exactly.
A majority of people just react off of what they hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that kind of goes into like cancel culture in general. I mean,
Cancer culture.
cancer. That's what we should call
Cancer
it.
culture.
Cancer culture because it fucking sucks.
Yeah, I hate everyone who hates cancer. No,
I think.
cancel.
Honestly, I mean, I don't think cancel culture is always bad. There are moments in time where it is good to cancel somebody that deserved it. Like, for instance, think about it, like R. Kelly. Like R. Kelly deserved to be canceled. You know what I mean? If you think about what he's done and how he's handled his situation.
I'm gonna break it down to you how I see it.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna break it down, Bo.
Let's see how you how you break it down.
I was messing. No, but yeah, no. That's a good opinion. That's actually like a really good example as to why cancer culture exists, because what cancer culture is something that honestly deprives from something that was created many years ago. It was the cancer culture is a form of ostracism.
Yeah.
If you want to ostracize them, you know why they used to ostracize people? Because they were considered threats or fucking tyrants, and then they would ostracize this man, or it's all that is a current acceptable form of shunning someone.
Right.
But now you have these people who are ostracizing a man because he fucking said a joke that you didn't like, you fucking pussy.
Oh, we're talking about Dave Chappelle now?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the thing is, cancer culture normally typically exists because it's something that is considered a phobia. Like if you are phobic, I guess that could potentially be considered a risk or a threat if they're like phobic. But if you got to do it in the right context, man. You got to do it in the right way. You can't just cancel culture anyone because they fucking said something you don't like.
Yeah, that's a personal opinion. Like if someone's doing something bad, right, and that should not is frowned upon, then you should be canceled. You shouldn't have the right to continue on making the money you do or having the influence that you have on these people.
Well, why not?
And no, if you do something that's bad.
Well, what would you consider bad?
Like R. Kelly, like the example I made.
Yeah,
like he was. Yeah, I mean, R. Kelly didn't deserve to have his throne anymore. Like where and that's just one example. There've been many others though, like Dave Chappelle. We talked about it on the other podcast, and I truly don't believe. I just think that's where cancer culture gets. I'm gonna call it that too. It gets like overzealous. Like they get ahead of themselves with this canceling shit. I mean, I get everyone has their feelings. The LGBTQ community. I mean, I'm fine with it. I don't personally have an opinion on transgenders or gay people. I mean, my uncle's gay. You know what I mean? And we have a relationship with him. You know what I mean? And we're family. So it's not like it's wrong. I mean, what do you think about it, Courtney? Like, how you perceive it? Like, just cancel culture in general and like.
Well, I mean, I have mixed feelings about it because there are pros and cons to it. I have a list.
What's your pros?
You want me to go through it?
What are the pros to cancel culture?
Yeah, I want to know the pros.
I tend to forget things, so I have to write everything down.
Well, it's because I know that you have like a lot of thoughts on a majority of what we talk about. So it's hard to. I'm glad that you write them down.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So
what do you think?
I wanted to start off with So it's always been around in some way, like you said, as a form of ostracizing. Yeah. But it became cancel culture. Like that's what it's known as now, and that's where it got its name in like 2017. And
who was the first?
I don't know.
I had it.
It was Jesus Christ.
Let's ostracize Jesus. 2017.
Probably. So the pros are that it combats sexism, racism, and other types of abuse, and it holds people accountable and makes people think twice about what they do and say.
Right.
So
it doesn't sound like cancel culture to me, dude.
Right. Those are the pros to it. Now. Those are the pros to it. And the cons to it are that it's not always permanent. Like they say that a lot of people that have been cancel cultured.
They recover.
Yeah, they recover in like 6 to 8 months, and then they're back to the same shit.
Right. Juicy Smouillet. Yeah.
But there have been
the gay Tupac.
Right. When they bring certain stuff to light, like you said, R. Kelly, and then who was that guy?
Who?
Oh, I can't remember. He used to have a show.
Ooh.
It doesn't matter. No, no. I can't remember right now.
What kind of show was it?
It was like a family show.
Is this Rage? What? I don't know.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
But there are certain things along those lines where people are brought to light and their wrongdoings, and people are actually listening. The Me Too movement was part of this too, where people are afraid to come out and tell somebody when they've experienced a form of abuse because usually it's overlooked.
Right.
There's no consequence for it. But when you have an overwhelming number of people complaining about the same person, that's when they can be held responsible. So it can have its pros to when you're comfortable with telling people that I've experienced this person did this to me.
When it becomes the majority vote, and when you're like, oh, we're all reaching a consensus on this. Oh, really?
Right.
Well, then let's do this. If you have those kind of people,
it's so razor thin with the whole how it's all built, and
right.
how it's exercised more just because of our technology.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and just the accessibility everyone has.
You have way more access to inputting your opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, we are doing it right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So and anyone does that has a phone or any internet, with a device that can, go through the social network. So it's
one of the good things that came from it. In 2016, Will and Jada Smith helped kickstart a movement. Somebody else started a hashtag.
Oh, is that the... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, come
Oscar's
on.
So White or something like that.
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Okay.
I remember that.
That was what but they didn't create it. Somebody else did, but they helped kickstart it towards this direction because...
Right.
Well, the Oscar's been white since I can remember.
They were...
Yeah.
So that was brought to light. And they, Will and Jada Smith actually they were like, fuck the Oscars, we're out of this, which started this movement.
I agree with that.
And then it did create a change because in 2019, a record was set for the most wins by black nominees ever. Mm-hmm. So these people were, it
can be impactful if it's done the right way.
It can be good, yeah.
Well, another thing is another thing though, and I don't want this to come off in any other way, but just because you're black doesn't mean your film's good.
Well, no,
Well, yeah,
obviously
but-
not.
You know what
but
I'm saying?
it's-
I think that-
you gotta put in some fucking effort.
Think
Is
about
that-
the movies that Will Smith has made, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's
he's
pretty
made
good.
some great movies.
But
in the past. You know,
I'm glad that you mentioned Will Smith too, because I really genuinely believe that man should have earned at least one Oscar.
oh, absolutely,
At least one.
absolutely.
Dude, I Imagine. Fuck yeah.
Even
Give
that's
it-
just, or maybe The Pursuit of Happiness. You know, like
Yeah.
there's so many movies
No
that he's
question.
made.
No, you're wrong. Well, no, you're not. I didn't say you're wrong.
I know what
didn't
you
say
meant.
you're wrong.
I
But
know
you're
what you
right.
meant.
No,
no, you're wrong. You're wrong.
You're wrong.
I am legend.
I know, but I agree with what you're saying because there's so not when I was trying to say that you're wrong.
I know what you mean.
I was trying to say that there are so many African American actors who deserve
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
way more than they have,
And they've
earned.
been cast to the side
Right.
Yeah.
over white people because
Not even just African American, just
Yeah.
Indian.
Yeah.
Minorities in general.
Oh,
Yep.
just- exactly.
Yep.
Right.
So I like that. That was one of the good things that I saw in it
Yeah.
because
No, it's a
these
good
people
example.
deserve
Yeah, that was
their
a good example.
yeah. You want me to go on to other
Yeah,
examples?
you have
Go
a long ass
ahead.
list.
I
there,
do,
Courtney.
I do.
Go ahead, B.
I've already
We gotta
said like
go.
half of it. So one of the cons, okay, is that
Ooh.
people are saying like you can't even learn from your mistakes anymore because you're not
Yeah.
allowed to make any.
That's especially when you have a spotlight on you.
Yeah. And then
That's
you're
scary.
so quick to be canceled. But like
Treacherous.
I said, canceled isn't always permanent. So
Right.
there's that too, you
Well,
know.
what's an example of someone that has been canceled and has recovered? Because there's been plenty of them. I just can't think of one on top of
Well,
my
I'm
head.
sure Travis Scott will be one.
No,
Most
I wouldn't even
likely.
say Travis Scott. I would say the guy who had AIDS. What's his name?
Magic Johnson?
Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because he did play.
And
yeah.
also Louis C.K.
Yeah, I mean,
Maybe even Eddie Murphy at one point.
probably.
There have been countless. You know
I mean,
why-
Dave Chappelle
Do
obviously.
you know why
too.
they come back? Do you know why they come back?
What's your reason? I want to know what you
In
think.
my opinion, the reason these motherfuckers come back is because society, like a river, follows the undertow. They follow the undertow. They will drag it. They will, okay, we should all do this. We should all have an opinion on this. And a majority of you guys, what, you don't like what he said? You don't like what he's doing? No? Well, I don't. You know what? That's a good point. I don't like what he's saying either. And then later on, when you realize that, they were just being human,
Yeah.
Right.
just whatever the circumstances, you realize, well, you know what? Okay, I actually kind of sympathize.
We
with
forgive
this
you
guy.
now.
Exactly.
It's
It's only convenient when it's fucking something.
they
that
need
you,
something. They need news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need
Then
to
it's
distract
forgotten
us.
about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's, like I said, one of the cons of it is because it's not long lasting.
Never.
No, not
It's
at all.
popular for a minute and then somebody else does the next big thing and then
Well, yeah,
everybody's, yeah.
There's a saying though, is like when you're like in the spotlight, it's gonna come and go. Like I don't know
Yeah.
what the saying is, but it's something
15
like that.
minutes of fame.
15 minutes, yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, even if
exactly.
it is people that are already famous, like
Right.
people just need something. They just need news to just get out to the masses
Yeah.
to distract us from what honestly is really happening. That we that they're hiding from us. That people don't like to know bad shit though. Like I don't even like watching the news anymore because it's all negative shit.
Oh, I fucking
You know what I
hate
mean?
the news.
Yeah.
You see murders all the time. You see just fucked up shit all constantly, and it's
That's like
depressing.
spreading into our social media and stuff too. Like
It is.
when I get on Facebook or
Oh.
whatever first thing in the morning and I
Yes.
see some kid died and was locked in their house for 3 weeks next to their dead brother or something, like that shit makes me want to get off, you know? Like
Well,
I'm
the thing
not
is,
get off of Facebook.
the thing is too, is like we're so used to seeing this shit
We're
that it doesn't.
desensitized.
We're desensitized to
Yeah.
everything now. I mean, I've seen videos of some really jacked up stuff, like some
Mm-hmm.
really messed up shit. And maybe when I first would see stuff like that, I'd be like, oh
Fuck
my god.
you up.
Like remember
Yeah.
like those videos they would make, like I don't know, like back when we were like in high school, like the 2 guys 1 hammer and shit.
Yeah.
Like if I were to see that now,
There's 3 guys, 1 hammer.
whatever the case is. No disrespect to obviously anybody
Oh,
who's.
yeah.
But I'm just saying, like we're so desensitized to all this violence and just traumatic things in this world that we just bat an eye at it and then move on. We know the world's fucked up at this point. There's so much, like we're not innocent little kids or innocent little people. That
That's evolution, though. Come on, man.
I'm not saying that that's the case. I'm just saying that technology gives us that.
Yeah.
That access to be this way, and it makes violence acceptable.
Well, technology is a form of evolution. It was
Yeah.
inevitable.
I've
I
talked
know.
to
No, trust me. I agree on that. What are you gonna say?
I've talked to older people before and asked them like was it always like this? You know, like has shit always been so like violent and crazy? And they're like, yeah, you just don't you didn't hear about it as often back then.
It's not
Right.
as accessible.
Yeah, the shit, it still happened.
No, absolutely.
But now we hear about everything that happens all across the world.
I mean, 50 years ago, we're way more, I would say, knowledgeable as a society now than we ever were, just because of the accessibility. But I also think it's a good thing and also a bad thing.
The thing that I think is what it really like expresses is that people are able to share their opinion, not so much of what
Facts.
you're saying, but you're able to share your opinion on
Which
it.
can be a good thing.
And it can
But
be.
also a bad
and it's
thing.
and you're rightfully so to share your opinion, but it spreads like an overall, like if there's like a general consensus on one opinion, they're like, yeah, this shouldn't have happened. Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah. And then it fucking it connects to everybody like a parasite.
That's the problem, though. Everybody's sheep. There's more sheep than there are.
And that's another con of it, is that one-sided information can spread faster than the truth.
Right.
Is that one of the things that you...
It's one of my cons.
I was so happy that I said it before you said it.
It's perfect.
Oh, yes.
You guys have been getting around to it.
We're smart.
I want to say it.
We're smart.
We got this.
Yeah. It also makes it hard for people to like engage and ask questions because they don't want to ask the wrong question or offend somebody by asking a question.
You know, I've seen so many one-sided arguments like on social media where people just don't even want to hear the other person out. It's just, I'm right, this is why I'm right, and you're going to listen to me. Even if the other person is right or whatever the case is, you know,
it's so quick people are so quick to put people in a box.
Right.
You know, like, okay, well, you're just a Trump fan. You're an idiot. Or you like Biden. You're fucking dumb.
Dude, another thing, can you imagine this where you know you're right, but you say you agree with the guy who's wrong because you don't want your opinion to be just pushed to the side? You're like, I'll agree with the guy because he's stupid and he has a lot of people who agree with him. I'll agree with you just because.
You don't want to waste your energy with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, because you want to just be known. Like, there's a lot of people who just like agree.
Well, there's a saying that I like, and it's when you arguing with an idiot makes two.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just gonna go in circles.
That's Marcus. Yeah. That's Marcus and me every day.
I know you fucking idiots.
Pretty much.
You guys will argue to the death over the dumbest shit.
I'll be like, Marcus, my pee is not yellow, dude. And you're like, yes, it is.
You don't drink water.
It's tinted yellow.
It's just back and forth.
That's actually a really good point. Honestly, though, really is.
I mean,
that's a good analogy too.
I like to just let people be right in their own way. If you think you're right about whatever, then that's okay. You know, if I can learn something from a situation, I'm more than happy to. And I think a lot of people are so like shut down to other people's opinion or facts or knowledge or whatever that they won't accept that. If I think that there might be some truth in what you're saying, I'm going to listen to you. But if I know you're wrong, I'm not going to argue with you.
Well, that's the thing too, is like my mom's always said it. There's always three sides of a story: yours, theirs, and the truth.
And the truth, which is somewhere in the middle.
Which is somewhere usually in the middle.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing. Who does know the truth? Because like I said about us talking about the Travis Scott incident, no one really knows the truth. Like how everything started.
Unless you saw the guy like get a foot in his face, you're like, that dude died
because you're right. And the thing is, I've seen snippets of videos, but they're only like 10-second videos. Like I don't know the whole picture. I'm only seeing there's a painting or a picture I've seen of like a businessman giving a homeless guy some money, but but when it's zoomed out, you see him recording himself or trying to get clout from it. It's stuff like that. Like you only see what they want to show you. But I did see other people complaining about. I didn't mean to go back to that incident, but it's just so fresh.
Yeah.
That it just makes the most sense. But I mean, as a whole, cancel culture, I feel like is only going to get worse. You're right. You can't make a mistake.
Yeah.
Like you can't make one mistake, or your whole life is over. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Even like, not even just like celebrities, but even Jesus on TikTok.
Jesus.
Yeah.
JS or what's her name?
I think it's Jesus. I don't know.
JS?
The girl that
only JS. That's what.
That motherfucker's name Jesus.
No.
Jesus. I thought you said Jesus.
Jesus.
I know you're talking about though. The one that gets all the facts and stuff.
Yeah, she does like psychology facts and shit. Like she's really big on TikTok.
You've had to seen her.
Probably at least once.
Videos.
They fucking canceled her because for a minute. I said, it wasn't lasting.
Because she made some racist comments.
She
supposedly.
said the N-word back in like 2015.
Yeah.
which were for her, she was like a young teenager, and everybody was bashing her, and she was apologizing. She's like, I was young, and now like I know that it's racist and it was wrong, and I should have never said that.
Well, no, even though I don't believe in that, okay, so I'm gonna give you my opinion just on that too. I don't think that what you said at one moment in your life, you should look back on and say, I shouldn't have said that. That's how you felt in the moment. That's how you fucking felt.
Yeah, but
we all grow. We all experience life in segments. If that's how you felt in the moment and you said it, it probably wasn't the smartest time or the best way that you put it. You probably didn't put it in the best way. You probably didn't articulate it in the way that you should have. But in that moment, you were passionate about it and you said it the way that you did. So fuck it. That's how you felt.
Well, I think what it is though I don't know how she said it though. Like if she just said it like in a song or whatever the case may be. But you kind of
get where I'm coming from.
No, I see what you're saying. Like, there are certain things that you should be unapologetic for, just because who you were. But there are also other moments in time where, because people make mistakes. It's fine to make mistakes as people, as a society. But, you should be yourself. You should own up to what you've done. But also, it depends when you have a following though. Like people look up to you.
That was
well,
you.
Even if it was you or not, people say stuff out of a whim. They don't even know what they're saying until you look back on it. Or the impact of what it is.
But in that moment, if you felt that way, like why you shouldn't feel bad for how you felt 10 years ago.
It depends on the context of it though. Like, because if she was just saying it, just like listening to songs, I don't think she should really need to apologize for it. But again, how cancel culture is, you have to be apologetic. You have to, bow down to
why
cancel
do you think
culture because people want to be right. I think that's where it boils down to.
Who do you think?
The people that are that are complaining.
What do you think the majority of the populace is that are like?
I think it's
you
majority.
Have to apologize.
I think it's a majority, probably like 75 to 80% of people that.
Well, what do you think it is?
Or maybe more.
Well, I can attest to, because I saw comments on like when that stuff was going down, and usually her stuff, like whoever's commenting on it is like really funny, whatever, they're going along with it, love you, blah blah blah. Yeah. But in this point in time, every fucking comment was negative. She needs to apologize. She's wrong for that, blah blah blah. So there was like I'm sorry, I pressed this once. I don't know who started it.
Just go, keep talking.
But it was hard. Like she couldn't even be distracted from it.
Right. I don't think, honestly, I think it just depends on the situation. Everyone deserves a second chance. Recently there was an NFL player, Henry Ruggs, that was involved in a drunk DUI accident. It was just this past weekend. He was a wide receiver for Raiders, and he actually ended up killing somebody, a woman and her dog. It was crazy. Like the car literally ignited in fire and completely. Like people were reporting that they heard screams and stuff, and he knew he fucked up. Obviously, he was driving like over 150 miles an hour in his Corvette, and he hit this other car, and he killed the other person, and he was fine. That's all. It's fucked up because that's how it usually is. The one that's drinking never is the one that gets
it's fine.
Goes unscathed. But my thing is people are obviously go. He shouldn't have did what he did. First off, I'm not defending him at all. Like you deserve the right. You should deserve to be punished 100%. Because you knew what you were doing. And you did it. But at the end of the day, I think where it really boils down to is people do deserve to be, to have a second chance in life. Maybe one day he can advocate for, DUI, drunk driving, and be an advocator for. Maybe if he is in the right programs in prison, that he can, rehabilitate himself mentally, because he has to live with that the rest of his life.
Yeah, and that's the downfall of being famous like that, because
it's a spotlight on you no matter what.
Well, that kind of stuff happens. I don't want to say it happens every day, but it does happen. And when it happens to a normal person like you and I, we just face our consequences, but he's going to be remembered for that.
Absolutely. And because it's fucked up. Don't get me wrong, he deserves the right to be punished. It is sad.
Yeah, he should accept his consequences.
Right, but at the end of the day, even with the Michael Vick situation, when Michael Vick was in his prime, he was involved in dogfighting, and that was highly illegal. He deserves to go to jail, but he did get a second chance. That's what I'm thinking is, to me, I think everyone deserves a second chance, even maybe a third chance, depending on the situation. And I think it all just depends on.
You got to learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, no one's perfect. Everyone makes mistakes constantly. 3 is probably pushing it.
It is.
Depending on what it is, though. Depending on how bad it is.
Yeah, definitely.
That's really when you're pushing it, but. At the end of the day, everyone deserves a chance, because that's how you learn from life. That's how you get better. And like I said, I always say this every podcast, but it's not the person that, I don't judge you based off the mistakes you made. Yeah, moderation too. I mean,
you also learn from not receiving second chances.
Yeah.
That's true.
You also learn from knowing that you fucked up, you shouldn't have done that, and you got to pay the piper.
The piper? Is that a saying?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard of that. Who's the piper?
It's a penis.
It's almost like when you go to purgatory when you die.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I got you.
Like when you like park somewhere downtown, you're like, I gotta give this guy $15 so I don't gotta pay 30.
Gotcha.
No, but you know what I mean though? It's almost like you like we all know that what you did is, I guess, collectively wrong. It wasn't the best way to react to whatever, and I'm not even exactly sure 100% what you guys were even talking about.
We will just to kind of re-summarize. I don't know if you heard about like the wide receiver from the Raiders, Henry Ruggs. He was involved in a drunk driving. It was a drunk driving accident. He was driving over 150 miles an hour in his Corvette, and he hits a woman and her dog.
Mm-hmm. That's his fault.
In his car. No, I'm not saying that. That's absolutely his fault. I'm just saying, he deserves to be punished. He deserves to go to prison. But my thing is he could also in the future be an advocate for drunk driving, or he can.
And why not? And why not? Yeah, I think that's both things are possible.
Well, that's what I'm saying, and I say that's why I feel like cancel culture can be bad in times, because you can't completely cancel somebody out and without giving them somewhat of a second chance.
Yeah,
like, if that
we're
person,
all human.
If that person does rehabilitate and they are understanding of what the fuck ups they made, then that's on them. He has to live the rest of his life knowing what he did. He killed somebody, Yeah, he has to live with that shit. I mean, that's a horrible.
Oh, I can only imagine.
That's a horrible punishment, and that's and that's not even considering him going to prison. That right there in itself is horrible. So
kid coming up to me like, Dad, what's wrong? Why are you so mad? Well, I killed somebody the other day.
Oh my God.
They're dead because of me.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That's why.
That's fucked up.
I couldn't imagine.
I know it's a fucked up. It's just a fucked up. It's just so fucked up. Like I couldn't imagine that either. Knowing your actions caused someone else to perish. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's very sad. And her dog died too, a golden retriever in the car. Yeah. You look it up.
I care more about that actually
than the dog. Yeah, it's just fucked up, man.
No,
it's like
that is fucked.
You go out to the store not expecting to die in a car accident, burning alive. You just don't. That's not something that goes through your mind when you leave the house.
Can we talk about like another angle? Like, can we talk about like a different angle when it comes to cancer culture? Because I was thinking about this too.
Here,
I'm trying to find. I got it. Sorry.
What kind of angle you speaking here?
I was trying to think about it, and in like in their perspective, I was trying to put myself in their shoes
as a person.
And when I say there, I mean someone who like
that's getting canceled.
It's not someone who's getting canceled, but someone who's doing the canceling.
Oh, like someone.
And I was like, why are they so upset? Why
Yeah,
why are they going to this extent? And I was like, it's got to be something else, right?
Personal, yeah.
And I was like, man, I can only imagine. Like, I don't know what kind of life they live on a day-to-day basis. Right. I'm sure, like, when you see like a gay couple, let's just say like a gay couple, they're still probably experiencing some kind of heat. Mm-hmm. Like, if they just hold hands out in public, just to guy to guy
and stuff,
you know what I mean? Yeah. I was like, damn, you know what? And then I thought even deeper about it. I was like, man.
Is this all you thought about when you went in the bathroom? Just now?
No, this was thought about. I mean, it's just stuff I think about all the fucking time. But I don't know. I was like, damn. And on top of that, I was thinking, I could only imagine the heat that transgenders are getting.
Oh, absolutely.
On top of the heat that, like, just being gay. Like, just holding hands with someone that you love.
I mean, yeah,
you are living in fear. If you go out in public, there's at least one significant moment where you're like, I hope that this guy doesn't punch me.
Yeah, no,
dude,
that's a good point.
Crazy.
Because
and then I thought about it. I was like, well, why should I have my? Well, I have an. Not why should I have my opinion? I have my opinion for a reason, but I started thinking about like, man. Maybe they're just taking this whole thing out of proportion because they've experienced some really dark things in their life.
Yeah.
And like maybe they haven't listened to Dave Chappelle's entire show because
that's the first one they made a heard of.
So they don't want to because it just brings back so many memories of like the experience that they've had through this process of them just coming out and being transgender, and it's like, oh my God, I can only fucking imagine. I'm like, fuck. You're right. Why am I being so insensitive to you because you don't like a joke that he said? And I'm sorry for that. But really, at the same time, you got to do the same thing. Like, it's just a joke at the end of the day. It's just really, nobody wants to hurt anybody. Nobody wants to hurt anybody's feelings.
It's okay, man. You're
he's getting emotional.
I was getting emotional just because I just don't want I don't know, man.
Well, that's I mean,
how I think about it.
That's a good way of looking at it.
The general
though.
population doesn't.
That's how I think about
But
it.
I think a lot
hurt
of people like to
people.
jump on the bandwagon too.
Yeah.
And I also, but no, I actually
what I
think
mean,
that's a
though?
good point though.
Yeah.
What you made, just because you don't know that person's
Who knows?
life and their past and what they've been through and how they perceive those types of things. And people do take offense. I mean, I get it. Our next podcast will be about interracial relationships, and how that has affected our societies now. And
But the other thing that you've mentioned too is that if you do listen to the entire Dave
there's
Chappelle
always a
show,
meaning.
you know that he doesn't mean it that way.
no,
No.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
No,
You
not
have
even
to
close.
you have to follow the context.
Yeah, you can't just watch a snippet of. Like I said, you have to see the whole picture, not
Yeah.
just what
Exactly.
they show,
And
what the
that's-
people see.
That's another con of cancel culture because it picks and chooses,
Exactly.
and it paints people in this light.
It's not full.
You
The
know.
context is not there. Not all of it.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And I think, realistically speaking, Dave Chappelle will get through this storm. He's already pretty much through it
Well, it's
already.
because he's a good person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people know that. You know what I mean? Like that's what we know that
He
Dave
honestly,
Chappelle is. If you truly listen to Dave Chappelle, every stand up that he has always has a meaning towards it, and he
Every
gives.
single one.
He's almost like he's like the way it just is, man. Like the way he forms his stories are
Bro.
they're just so good, man.
I don't even listen to him anymore for laughs. I listen to him now for guidance.
For guidance. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he's very authoritative in that way, and I think he's very it's very impactful to people
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I watch every time I watch Dave Chappelle at the end of his stand-ups, I just always have this weird feeling inside, of where it makes me rethink things.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you watch somebody or hear somebody that makes you rethink life.
That's important.
That's very
important.
It's incredible. Like that's a
Yeah,
true
for
that's
sure.
a gift. Like he
It's
has a
fucking
gift.
rare.
It's very rare, and he just does it in a form of comedy, which I think is the best form to get a message across. That's very I think what's so good about him is that he talks about really very tough, situations in life, and he makes light of them because it's easier to talk about them and easier to understand without getting offended.
Yeah.
Some people do, because like you said, you don't know their story, but I think if people really listen to the whole story and understand, they can take all the context in and form that it's not in ill will or bad intentions. I don't think it's never I just don't think it's ever been like that with him. But there are other people that I agree that should be canceled and shouldn't have a platform because people take advantage of it and they don't really know what they have until it's gone. And I think that's just where cancel culture can just be good, but also I think it's mainly bad.
I have a question.
Realistically,
If you could cancel culture anybody, who would you start with?
who, me?
Yeah.
Like cancel somebody?
Who would you
Shit.
you Courtney too? If you were like, you know what, I don't want this. I don't want to hear another fucking word from this.
Who would
guy.
you? Okay,
Fuck
let me
you.
reverse this question back to
No,
you.
I'm asking you.
Who would you? I don't know who I would
I'm
cancel
asking
you,
off,
and
Courtney.
off the rip.
I don't either.
Like,
I
there's no
don't-
one that I don't really care enough to
Yeah.
cancel.
I would
gonna
start with
say.
a politician.
I was leaning towards that too. Like I was thinking about politicians. I mean, honestly, when you think about it, I saw this video about Trump. Like how he's such an imposed figure in our society, but there are people that love Trump. He has a
No
following.
question.
Trump is. I mean, I see some of the things
No
like my
question.
father hates Trump. I mean, with a passion. But there are things that I've seen from Trump that aren't terribly bad. I don't think he's a horrible person. I just think he's just
No, I don't-
negligent to certain parts
Yeah.
of society. I think he's unapologetically himself.
I agree.
And that
I
people
agree.
don't like that.
I agree 100%.
People don't like when you're yourself.
Yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah.
You're speaking from the heart?
You're supposed to
A
be.
little weird.
You're supposed to appeal to everybody.
Well, no,
I'm not standing up for Trump by any means.
Yeah. I know.
I'm not. That's not what I'm doing.
I
I'm
know
just
what
saying
you
that's just an example.
I know
though.
what you mean. I think
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a really good
Well,
example. What about you?
I like Marcus said, I just don't care enough about any. If it's not affecting me personally, then
Right.
and I don't.
Well, what?
I
Maybe
don't
that woman.
understand.
I don't
Maybe that
mean-
woman
I
that
don't
cut
mean
me
to,
off
like-
last week on the
I
freeway.
don't mean to,
I'm gonna cancel
like-
her.
I don't know if I'm using the right words, but I'm not intending to discourage your answer here, but I know that you feel a lot. You're very sensitive to everything that goes on around you. So how could you not be sensitive to politics? Like when one person says something, and
Who
that
would
doesn't-
you cancel as a politician?
politician? All of them.
That's a good answer.
All of them. Even the ones that I've never voted. I don't vote, so I really don't even have an opinion because I don't vote. So I feel like most
At least
people,
you're honest.
Oh, yeah. I think I don't have a right to say anything because I don't vote. Everybody who votes, you have the right to complain all fucking day. I don't, so fuck my opinion. But since we're talking about my opinion, I don't. And I really ultimately believe this because of the pattern,
right?
The pattern of democracy, the pattern of just government in itself. The idea of government doesn't make fucking sense. There's zero logical explanations for any of it. There's nothing that makes sense to you. You fucking there's. The consensus is obscured.
It's already built to divide us.
Absolutely, 100%. It's against us, if anything.
Yeah.
If you really look at it, it's built to have a layer that is above the average man.
I mean, realistically speaking, we should all be able to trust our government and the people and those types of authorities. But I would say majority, I would say millennials and up, don't trust our government. I mean, realistically speaking, I don't feel comfortable with my government. But I don't feel comfortable with, certain things that we
but at the same time, what are you supposed to do?
You can't.
You have to negotiate.
Be a politician yourself.
You have to negotiate somehow because you're still just this little man.
Right.
In comparison to the government, you're just this little boy.
You're an infant.
You have no point. You have to negotiate with these people.
I don't think there's even negotiating.
Or else
you just gotta
fucking, all right, I'm going to take your house. I'm going to take your car.
Right.
What else you got? Give it to me. It's mine. Legally. It's mine. What else you got? You don't want to, oh, it's mine. It's mine.
That's why you should buy Bitcoin.
You can literally do nothing in this world. You can do nothing.
Are you trying to make
I'm going to reiterate, you can do nothing in this world without the government taking it away from you.
Yeah, we pay taxes every year. Oh,
they will take it somehow.
That's how we pay.
And if you go against it, you're either cancer cultured or you're cultured somehow. They're gonna take advantage of you somehow. There's no way of being your own person because even being your own person is taxed. It's unbelievable, man.
No, and the way society's going in with technology and just evolution, like you said earlier.
I'm sorry for when I'm on a tangent there. I'm sorry.
I mean, you're good, dude. That's what we're all about. Well, this is what we do it for. I mean, this is our platform to.
I would have to say I agree. If I was going to cancel anybody, it'd be the whole government. I think that we should start a fucking revolution.
We should, and I think. Do you believe that it will happen?
I hope so, but
maybe one day.
I think
I want to know how.
I think
how do we do that?
We need a leader, a good leader, somebody that is
Bitcoin.
That's our leader.
That's the start.
The best person that could be a leader is somebody that doesn't want to do it. You don't want somebody in there that flourishes with the power.
Yeah, no
That's
way.
true. I mean, there should be multiple leaders.
I agree with that. But I think the ultimate start is just having control of your own shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Where you don't have to look to anyone.
Your own freedom.
Exactly.
Your own financial freedom too.
Like how remember I mentioned 30 podcasts ago where I was like everybody at some point theoretically could have their own access to launching their own satellites.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking about that.
When everybody becomes their own fucking businessman.
Right.
And it's easy breezy.
But it's built in a way for it's almost impossible to do that right now.
Yeah, right now, no question.
And that was funny because when you mentioned, my dad was talking to me yesterday about the World 2 or whatever you were talking about, all the NFTs, and how these, it's fucking insane. You could buy property in video games. That's fucking mind-boggling.
It's insane,
dude. It's fucking insane. My dad was showing me some of these NFTs, one that was a Walking Dead one, and it was selling for $999,000,
dude,
on bid.
You don't even have to be an actor. You don't have to be in movies. You don't even have to have a fucking lawyer. You don't have to have financial advisors. You can do whatever the fuck you want and be a millionaire these days.
It's insane
if you do it the right way.
Yes, it makes me want to look into it because my dad sent me a video about it. I can send it to you if you want to.
Yeah, send it to me. I may have seen it, but
you probably have if you because I remember you talking about it. You were obsessed with it for a couple few months ago.
Still send it though.
And I was thinking to myself, I didn't really know what it was. But I was looking into it yesterday when we went to go get pizza. and my dad, we were just talking about it, and I was just like mind boggled. There was this one called like a cyber, I don't know, it was like a cyberpunk NFT or whatever it was. I don't know. It was selling for like $500,000, like on bid for. I was like, this is insane. Like you can buy land in virtual worlds, like it's like an actual land, and it's in the early stages too. You know, you can convert your like Ethereum or your Bitcoin and buy that land. We're going far off the topic, but
so I actually kind of wanted to bring this up to you specifically. Because you deal with it. That is your profession. You deal with
real estate.
Yeah.
That is going to be, I could only imagine what that's going to be in the next 10, 15 years when you are virtual. Like someone's approaching you, someone's contacting you like, hey, I want to buy 15 layers of land on this grid on Earth 2. Can you help me? And you're the real estate agent. Because that's real, bro.
I could see it being a real thing.
What's the
that
point?
Could happen.
Of that, I don't have any information.
I don't know.
The same reason it's
knowledge.
the same. Okay,
I don't know what
financially.
The point is right
what is the interest if you were like if you were to talk numbers, buying a house could potentially like be a financial security for a lot of people.
Absolutely.
So it's the same thing,
but just
instead of actually moving in,
right.
It's the same thing on Earth too.
Yeah, it's basically the same concept. I don't know that much into it. Like, I don't know how it works. You probably know more than me about it because you watch more videos.
Really don't.
But my dad didn't know anything about it either. We were just kind of conversing of what we think it is and how it, and just kind of just the tip of the iceberg. Like, I really don't know what it is and how it really works and how you can really get invested into it. But I would love to learn about it and kind of get and understand more about it because it seems like it's the future almost. Like,
well, that's all I'm really trying to say is just like
you can make real money doing
this.
This
is something that's going to expand.
Oh, absolutely.
Like electricity did when Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. This is gonna be in every home.
Well, the metaverse is coming. That's why. Like, Facebook,
we're gonna have to
metaverse,
learn about it.
The metaverse this is how society is gonna be in the next like 50 years, maybe sooner. Like, it's just all gonna be virtual. And
that scares
me. Remember, I think you liked it. I shared that post of that first Black Mirror episode.
Yeah.
Where they live their whole lives in a box and
their
own virtual. That's like how the world is going to turn into. That's the kind of where we're going. That's the direction we're pointing towards.
Well, that's why I asked Courtney like her opinion on it because I was like, because I know you're a real estate agent now and you did a lot of courses, but did they ever cover a course?
Yeah, did that ever come up?
No, they never talked about that.
I mean, that would be something that would be.
If that's something I have to learn, then I'll learn it. But I just don't understand.
How would that even interact? How would you?
I don't know how that works. I don't know how you can even buy land right now. I don't even know how any of that works right now.
Person-to-person interactions will not even exist at some point.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You will never see another human being.
That's kind of scary.
Flesh.
That's fucking scary. To be honest,
it is scary.
That like really is.
I saw because I haven't even looked into like what the metaverse is or what
Facebook
is doing and all that other shit. But I saw people. It was like people with VR goggles on.
Right.
And they were comparing it to Wall-E.
Right. Everybody was like in their chairs.
Yeah, and they're fat as hell.
Their bone density is very weak.
They don't have to move.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Like the food is just fucking
processed.
Through a tube or something. Like they don't even have to lift a finger anymore. Like that's the shit that scares me.
I mean,
that's real.
It's like some Matrix shit.
That's real.
It kind of is. I mean, we could literally be in a simulation and not know.
And we're moving into another one.
I think what makes a lot of people uncomfortable is the realization that no matter what you do, no matter what you say, Earth is going to become something that you're not happy with. Mm-hmm. It's inevitably the pattern of just existence. It's going to lead us into something that you don't like.
People don't like simplicity.
Imagine showing a guy in the fucking 1830s a picture of like
what it is
10
today.
people at McDonald's on their phones. He'd be like, what the fuck is that? What is that? You guys are doing what? You're looking at what? Oh my God. What the? Ha!
That's what he would do?
Yeah, no, seriously. And then you fucking show that same image to someone, I don't know, 300 years from now. It's going to be the same reaction. We're going to be like, what?
Right.
What is that?
Right.
And you think that we have reached this moment in life where we have accomplished all these amazing accomplishments technology wise, but we have yet to even scratch the surface of what we could do.
If you think about it, technology hasn't even been around for like barely 100 years.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. It's been around long enough for us to just make fun of it and
Right.
And like, dude, who knows what the fuck we can do, and it's only gonna keep going. And the fact that is a possibility is what makes me scared. I can only, oh my god, all the dick pics,
all the virtual dicks.
I am frightened.
God. No, I think honestly, did we have anything else about cancel culture or anything like that you wanted to bring up, Sebastian? Or Courtney said no. So
yeah.
No, I okay. The only thing that I respect about cancel culture is that you are using your voice for a purpose and you're using it for a reason. I think everybody, whether or not people around you or even a majority of people agree with you, you should still use your voice.
Right.
You should stand out for what you believe in.
Yeah.
But I just don't think this is the right way. And I think you need to check your reasons. I think you need to check why you're doing it. And if you're even, check yourself. Just check your fucking self.
Mm-hmm.
Before you wreck yourself.
And before you fucking wreck yourself. But I think having a voice outside of that, I mean, if you're a part of that community and it affects you in a personal way, go ahead. Say what you want to say, because right. Who am I to say that you shouldn't say what you want to say? Say whatever you want to fucking say.
Right.
But just check just like you said, make sure you're saying what you need to say in the right way. And check your facts before you start accusing. And other than that, I think just be honest with what you're standing up for. And really, what do we always say? In moderation.
Moderation.
Just do it in moderation.
Right.
I guess.
Be moderate.
That's really it.
With your actions.
I think that's it.
Cool. Well, I think we covered a lot of good shit. I think we had a great conversation. And this is.
Are we done?
Yeah.
No way.
And this is us. Like this is the Effin Pure podcast. This is what we do. This is how we talk. This is genuinely what we do.
I've missed talking to you guys.
Yeah, we do. We've been doing a lot.
You
of
don't
interviews.
have to leave, Sebastian.
Right.
No, I don't want to leave. but you know what I mean. Like just us
right.
three. You know.
Yeah.
I mean?
This is what we've done. This is our foundation, and not interviewing, not asking each other questions. This is what we do. We talk about topics and we just go into detail in them and try to shed some light on them the best way we know how. And I think what you guys said was great. I think, everything that we said was fucking spot on in my opinion. I mean, if you guys have any, opinions on it. Feedback. I know I say this every fucking podcast, but if you have any feedback or, you want to challenge us. And
everybody's pussies.
Yeah, pretty much.
except for what's her name? What's her fucking
Who?
The one that you work with.
Michelle.
Oh, Michelle.
She's the only badass.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's the only badass that is willing to say her opinion or show support or whatever the case may be. But with that being said, leave comments below, go follow, like, and share, whatever. If you guys hated the stuff we said, just say we suck to your friends, and maybe they'll check out how bad we are, and then they might like it. So,
please
make fun of us.
Yeah, make fun of us. But we'll be back next week, and we're going to be talking about interracial relationships and how that's impacted the societies by generations. We have all, and think about it, we'll
actually be talking with an interracial couple.
Yes, and we all of us are in an interracial relationship, so we have perspectives and understandings of how that affects society, how it's affected us, and how it's looked at now versus how it looked at in the past. So I hope you guys enjoy that too. But other than that, we're signing off here. Stay positive, test negative, as usual. No, you like when I say it now?
You know I love it.
But other than that, you guys got any last? You already said your piece, so it's good.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, well, appreciate it. Like, subscribe, or don't care. Peace.
Love you.